I saw you counting the copper coins in the darkness of your kitchen, and I saw the silent tear that hit the cold floor before you could even whisper my name. I know the weight that sits upon your chest like an iron mountain, the way your breath hitches when the mail arrives, and the hollow ache in your stomach when you look at the numbers that never seem to add up. You have felt abandoned in a desert of debt, wandering through a wilderness where the wells have run dry. But I am here to tell you that the sand beneath your feet is about to turn into gold. I am your Father, the weaver of destinies, and I have not forgotten the secret cries of your heart. You think you are alone in this struggle, but I have been standing in the corner of your room, watching you brave the storm with a courage you didn't know you possessed. My beloved child, the season of lack is ending, and the manner of its end will be so strange, so magnificent, that you will know without a shadow of a doubt that it was my hand that moved the stars for you. Do not look to the usual channels for your rescue. Do not look to the bosses who have overlooked you or the banks that have turned you away. I am opening a door in a wall that you thought was solid stone. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your anxieties, and the feast will be provided by a source you would never have guessed in 1,000 years. Remember the story of the ravens feeding the prophet. I still have my ravens, though today they may look like a misplaced letter, a forgotten digital account, or a stranger who feels a sudden, irresistible urge to act on your behalf. There is a specific blessing marked with your name, indexed under the divine decree 6951 in the ledger of heaven, and it is being released into the physical realm at this very moment. You have wondered why I allowed the pressure to build, why the furnace had to get so hot. It was not to consume you, my precious one, but to melt away the chains of your old mindset, to prepare you for the stewardship of the abundance that is coming. If I had given it to you sooner, you might have thought it was luck or the result of your own frantic striving. But when it arrives from this strange, impossible direction, you will see my face in the miracle and know that I am the provider of all your needs. I am moving the heart of someone who does not even know me to act as my instrument. I am breathing on a forgotten inheritance, a dusty investment, or a legal correction that is about to be decided in your favor. Your nights of weeping are over. The morning is not just coming, it is breaking through the clouds right now. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? The air around you is thick with my favor. I am smoothing the path ahead of you, clearing the thorns that have tripped you up and making the crooked places straight. When the phone rings, when the notification appears, or when that unexpected package arrives, do not react with your old fear. React with the joy of a child who knows their father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. You are my heir, and the wealth of the kingdom is your inheritance. I am not a God of just enough. I am the God of more than enough. I am pouring out a blessing that you will not have room enough to receive, and it starts with a flicker of light in the darkest corner of your financial world. Rest your weary head tonight knowing that the architect of the universe is working overtime on your behalf. No weapon formed against your prosperity shall prosper, and every voice of doubt that rises against you, including your own internal critic, I shall silence with the roar of my goodness. You are loved with an everlasting love, and your provision is as sure as the rising sun. I see the stack of papers on your nightstand, the ones you try to ignore but whose shadows loom large in the quiet hours. I see the way you skip the things you enjoy just to save a few pennies, and how you have begun to wonder if I have turned my face away from you. But I tell you, I am closer to you in your struggle than I am to the kings in their palaces. Your struggle has not been a punishment, it has been a preparation. I am refining your faith because what I am about to give you requires a heart that knows the value of grace. This strange source will be a testimony to everyone who knows you. They will see the transformation and ask, how could this happen? and you will point to the heavens and say, "My Father did this." It might be a refund from a company that hasn't existed for years, or a property value that defies the market, or a gift from a person you once helped and forgot. Whatever the form, the essence is the same. It is my love made manifest in your bank account. I am the God who brings water from a rock and bread from the sky. Your current financial situation is not a destination. It is a bridge to the story you will tell. I am filling your storehouses so that you can be a channel of my love to others. Do not grip this blessing with white knuckles when it arrives. Hold it with open palms, for more is coming from where that came from. I am teaching you the rhythm of the kingdom, giving and receiving, breathing in my grace and breathing out my praise. You have been a good steward of your tears. Now I will make you a steward of my treasures. Trust in the strange source I am sending. Do not doubt the method, just embrace the master. I am with you always, and my love for you is as infinite as the stars. Your breakthrough is here. It is real. It is yours. Receive it now with a grateful heart, for the windows of heaven are open and the rain of my blessing is falling on your parched ground. This is my promise to you, my beloved child, and my word never returns void. Believe, for all things are possible to those who believe. Your rescue is not a possibility. It is a certainty. Close your eyes and feel the peace that surpasses all understanding. For the King of Glory has entered your house to settle your debts and crown you with favor. As you stand in the silence of this moment, I want you to look at the walls of your home not as a cage of debt, but as the sanctuary of your transition. I am currently moving the hearts of those you do not even know, aligning the stars of your destiny with the hands of the unlikely. Do you remember the kindness you showed to the stranger 3 years ago? Do you remember the small seed you sowed when your own cupboards were nearly bare? I have never forgotten. While you were counting your losses, I was calculating your compound interest in the treasury of heaven. I am the God of the overflow, and I am choosing a vessel for your blessing that will leave the world baffled and your critics silenced. Within the next few days, a door that was bolted shut by bureaucracy will swing wide on hinges of mercy. A letter, an email, or a phone call will come from an office you had long ago written off. It will not be a mistake, though the world will call it one. It will be a divine correction. I am reaching into the deep pockets of the secular world to fund the sacred work I have placed in your hands. This financial miracle is not just for your comfort, it is for your calling. I am releasing the resources of the wicked into the storehouses of the righteous, just as I promised. You have felt the sting of lack for so long that your mind has begun to think in shadows, but I am the light, and in my light there is no scarcity. I see you standing in the grocery aisle, checking the balance of your card with a racing heart. I see you staring at the stack of envelopes on the kitchen table, wishing they would simply vanish. I am the one who breathes on those numbers until they change. I am the one who touches the mind of the accountant, the lawyer, and the distant relative. I am the God of the suddenly. When you wake tomorrow, I want you to walk through your rooms and speak to the air, not with words of worry, but with the language of the kingdom. Say to the walls, "My Father is rich in houses and lands." Say to your bank account, "Be filled to the brim, for the Master has need of you." I am not a God of just enough. I am the God of the 12 baskets left over. The source I am using will be strange to you because I want to ensure that no human takes the credit for your rescue. It won't be from the promotion you expected or the loan you applied for. It will be from a direction you never looked toward. Perhaps it will be an old investment that was declared dead, suddenly springing to life, or a legal settlement from a situation you had already forgiven and forgotten. I am the master of the vineyard, and I am paying you the full day's wage even if you feel you have only worked the final hour. The shame that has hovered over your finances like a gray cloud is being burned away by the sun of my righteousness. You will no longer walk with your head down, wondering if you can afford the basic needs of your life. I am making you a lender and not a borrower. I am shifting the atmosphere of your household from the frantic energy of survival to the steady rhythm of abundance. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders even as you read these words. That tightness in your chest, that is the old man of anxiety departing. That warmth in your hands, that is the mantle of a steward being placed upon you. I am teaching you to handle wealth with the same grace you handled poverty. I am preparing your heart to be a conduit, a river through which my provision flows to a thirsty world. The strange source is already in motion. The ink is drying on the check. The authorization has been granted in the courts of heaven, and the earthly mirrors must now reflect my decree. You have been faithful in the dark, and now I will reward you in the light. This is not a dream, my child, though it will feel like one when the numbers appear. It is the tangible manifestation of my covenant. I am the God who provided manna in the desert and water from a rock. Do you think a modern debt is too difficult for me? I am weaving a tapestry of provision that involves people you have never met and places you have never visited. Trust the process, for I am the architect of your breakthrough. You are moving from the wilderness of not enough into the promised land of more than enough. Hold your peace, for the battle for your bread has already been won. I am watching over you with an eye that never sleeps, and my hand is outstretched to pour into your life until you have no room to receive it. Breathe deeply now. The air is different here on the edge of your miracle. The scent of rain is heavy, and the parched earth of your life is about to drink its fill. I am with you, I am for you, and I am your great reward. Look closely at the ordinary moments of your day, for they are the veils behind which I am working. Even as you read these words, a signature is being penned on a document in a city you have only seen on a map. There is a man sitting in a high-rise office, a person who does not know your name yet, but who has been seized by a sudden, inexplicable urge to audit a dormant account from decades ago. He thinks it is a professional curiosity, a mere whim of the mind, but it is my finger tracing the ledgers of your lineage. I am unearthing what was buried, assets that were lost in the bureaucracy of time, inheritance threads that were frayed but never broken. You have spent nights staring at the ceiling, calculating figures that never quite added up, feeling the cold weight of the missing piece. I am that piece, and I am fitting myself into the gaps of your ledger. The mail you usually dread, the one that arrives in the plain white envelope with the urgent red ink, is about to be replaced by a different kind of correspondence. Watch for the letter that looks like a mistake. It will bear a logo you do not recognize, from a corporation that seems far removed from your reality, but inside will be the evidence of my sovereignty. This is the strange source I promised. A legal settlement from a company that hasn't existed in 20 years, an overpayment on a mortgage you finished paying long ago, or a gift from a distant relative whose heart I have softened toward you in their final hours. I am the God of the lost and found. I am recovering every interest-laden blessing that the thief tried to steal from your family line. Your ancestors prayed for this day, and you are the one chosen to walk through the door they knocked upon. Do not be afraid when the sum is larger than the debt. The excess is not a mistake. It is the seed for your next season. I am teaching you how to breathe without the constriction of lack. For years, you have conditioned your heart to survive on the bare minimum, trimming your dreams to fit into a shallow pocket. I am stretching those pockets now. I am expanding your capacity to hold abundance so that you can become a conduit, a river through which my grace can flow to others who are still in the drought you are leaving behind. Think of the specific bill that has been your greatest giant. See it now in your mind's eye. I am laying that giant low. It will be marked, paid in full by a hand you do not see. You will go to log into your account, bracing yourself for the familiar red numbers, and instead, you will find a balance that makes your heart skip. You will refresh the page, thinking the system has glitched, but the numbers will remain solid and unmoving, a testimony to my faithfulness. I am moving through the digital pathways and the paper trails. I am influencing the decisions of committees and the hearts of bureaucrats. There is no gatekeeper who can bar the door when I have declared it open. I have seen you sitting at your kitchen table with the calculator, the light of a single lamp casting shadows over your worries. I was in those shadows with you. Every sigh you exhaled was a prayer I caught in my hand. You thought you were alone in the struggle, but I was the silent partner in your poverty, preparing you for the stewardship of your prosperity. This blessing is not just for your comfort, though I delight in your peace. It is a sign and a wonder. It is a message to the world around you that there is a God who still answers by fire, who still provides in the wilderness, and who remembers his children in the hidden places. The source will be strange so that there is no doubt it was me. If it came from your own labor, you would credit your strength. If it came from a friend, you would credit their kindness. But when it comes from the unknown, from the forgotten, from the impossible, you will know that the King of Glory has visited your house. Prepare your heart for the weight of this joy. It is a heavy glory, one that requires a new kind of strength, the strength to receive. You are so used to giving, to scraping, to making do. Now, I ask you to be still and allow me to pour. The sky is darkening with the clouds of my favor, and the first few drops are already hitting the dry ground of your life. Do not run for cover. Stand in the open field of my grace and let the downpour wash away the stains of not enough. The seasons of just getting by are being erased from your timeline. I am rewriting your story with the ink of sufficiency. You will no longer be defined by what you lack, but by the abundance of the one who loves you. This is the beginning of the great unraveling of your burdens. Watch the mailbox. Watch the inbox. Watch the stranger who lingers a moment too long with a look of recognition. I am everywhere, and I am bringing your harvest home. Listen to the rhythm of the new song I am teaching your heart to sing. It is not a song of desperation, but an anthem of arrival. Do you remember the nights you sat at the kitchen table with the calculator, trying to stretch $20 into $100? I was there, counting every sigh, measuring the salt in every tear that hit the laminate surface. I saw you turn away from the things you desired, not out of discipline, but out of a crushing necessity that felt like a cage. I am breaking the bars of that cage today. The strange source I mentioned is already in motion. It may come through a legal settlement you thought was dead and buried, a dormant account from a relative whose name you barely whisper, or a sudden, inexplicable correction in a government record. There is a man in a high-rise office 3 cities away who is currently looking at your file. He does not know why his heart is softening, why he feels a sudden urge to press, approve, on a document he previously rejected. He thinks it is a whim. I know it is my whisper. You will find that the very systems designed to keep you small are now being used to propel you forward. I am turning the tables of the money changers in your life. Even the person who once sought to cheat you will find themselves compelled to make restitution, adding interest to what they stole from your peace. Think back to the dream you tucked away in the back of your mind, the one that required, if only I had the means. Dust it off. The means are coming to meet the dream. You have lived in the shadows of barely, but I am calling you into the noonday sun of plenty. Do not apologize for the size of the blessing. Do not feel guilty that others are still in their winter. Your harvest is meant to provide seed for your future and bread for your present, but also to become a well from which others may drink. I am making you a distribution center of my goodness. The mail carrier will walk your path with a different gait this week. The notification on your screen will make your breath catch in your throat. In that moment, Do not let fear tell you it is a mistake. Do not wait for a correction that will never come. Accept it as the physical manifestation of my love. I am working through the secular to accomplish the sacred. I am using the hands of the unlikely to deliver the promises of the eternal. You have been a faithful steward of the little. Now, I am entrusting you with the much. It is not because of your striving, but because of my timing. The era of the slow leak in your finances is over. I am plugging the holes where your resources used to drain away into emergencies and unforeseen costs. Instead, I am opening a fountain. You will see it in the way your car continues to run beyond its years, in the way your pantry seems to stay full even when you haven't shopped, and finally, in the sudden, lopsided influx of capital that will change your zip code, your outlook, and your legacy. Be ready for the phone to ring at an hour that feels significant. Be ready for the email that looks like junk but contains your jubilee. I am moving through the bureaucracy of men to show you the sovereignty of God. You have been looking at the ground, watching for crumbs. I am telling you to look at the horizon, for the grain ships are coming in. The sails are white, and they are heavy with the wealth of the nations. This is not a temporary relief, but a structural shift in your reality. You are being moved from the ledger of the debtor to the ledger of the provider. Feel the weight of the old mantle falling off your shoulders. It was tattered, gray, and heavy with the dust of the desert. The new mantle is woven with threads of joy and lined with the gold of my presence. Wear it with humility, but wear it with confidence. You are the child of the king, and the king's treasury is open to you. There is a specific debt that has been a ghost in your house, haunting your sleep for years. I am laying that ghost to rest. You will receive a letter thin, unassuming, that tells you the debt has been canceled, bought by a nameless benefactor, or dissolved by a change in policy. This is my hand. There is a creative project or a small business idea you buried because the soil was too dry. I am sending the rain that will make that soil fertile, and the capital that will act as the fence to protect its growth. You are not just being saved from poverty, you are being invited into partnership. The stranger you encounter tomorrow, the one who offers a kind word or a seemingly random tip, pay attention. Their eyes will hold a spark that you recognize, even if they do not. They are a messenger in disguise, a catalyst for the next phase of your increase. I am weaving your life into a tapestry of divine coincidences. Nothing is random. Every cent, every dollar, every windfall is a word in the sentence of my devotion to you. Rest your head tonight knowing that the bank of heaven never suffers a recession, and your name is written on the vault. As the moon shifts across your floor, tracing patterns of silver and shadow, do not mistake the silence of the night for my absence. I am moving in the quiet spaces of your life, in the ledgers you have been afraid to open, and the bank statements you have tucked away beneath stacks of more pressing concerns. I see the phantom weight upon your shoulders, the way you calculate the cost of a gallon of milk against the electricity bill, the way you have learned to suppress your desires until they are nothing more than a dull ache. You have lived in the not enough for so long that you have begun to define yourself by your lack. But I am the God of the overflow, the one who turned a few loaves and fishes into a banquet for thousands, and I am currently restructuring the architecture of your inheritance. Think back to that old wooden chest in the attic, or the stack of yellowing documents in the back of your closet, those things you deemed worthless or outdated. Among them lies a paper trail, a forgotten policy, or a deed of ownership that has been maturing in the dark. I am breathing life into those dry bones. What was once a stagnant memory is about to become a liquid asset. This blessing will not come through the traditional channels you have been watching with such anxiety. It will not come from your overtime hours or your meager savings. It will come from a direction you haven't even glanced at, a side street of providence that I have kept hidden for this exact moment of your need. I am opening the eyes of an executive in a distant city to a mistake made 20 years ago, a clerical error that has deprived you of what was rightfully yours. He will feel a sudden, nagging urge to rectify it, an itch in his spirit that only signing your name on a check will scratch. You will receive a phone call or a certified letter that feels like a prank at first, a piece of news so far-fetched that your breath will catch in your throat. Do not hang up. Do not throw the envelope away. I am in the fine print. I am in the sudden realization of value where there was once only dust. You have spent years planting seeds in a field you thought was barren, weeping as you dropped each grain into the earth, wondering if anything would ever break the surface. I tell you, the harvest has been growing underground, away from the eyes of your critics and even away from your own sight. The stranger I mentioned, the one you will meet in the mundane theater of your daily routine, will be the key that unlocks this hidden cache. Perhaps it is the elderly man who struggles with his groceries, or the woman in the faded coat who asks for the time. When you stop to help them, when you offer the currency of your compassion despite your own exhaustion, you are engaging in a divine transaction. They carry a word, a suggestion, or a contact information that will act as the bridge to your windfall. They are not the source, but they are the conduit. I am teaching you that the economy of my kingdom operates on the gold of kindness and the silver of sincerity. You have felt like a beggar at the gates of your own life, but I am handing you the keys to the manor. I am specifically looking at that dream you had, the one involving the workshop with the large windows, or the studio where the light hits the floor just right. You stopped dreaming of it because you couldn't see the path to the down payment. I am building that path out of the very stones your enemies threw at you. The capital is coming. It is coming in the form of a royalty check for a creative spark you shared years ago, or a settlement from a case you thought was closed and buried. I am the God of the resurrected resource. I am looking into your kitchen right now, at the half-empty pantry, and the list of things you've decided you can do without. I want you to walk through your home and touch the walls, knowing that the atmosphere is changing. The spirit of poverty is a heavy cloak, but I am unfastening the clasp. I am replacing it with a garment of praise. Your hands, which have been clenched tight in a grip of survival, are being softened so they can receive. You cannot catch a blessing with a fist. Open your palms tonight. Release the resentment you hold toward those who have more, and release the shame you feel for having less. Neither of those emotions can survive in the light of what I am about to do. I am weaving your story into the lives of people you haven't even met yet, investors who are looking for exactly what you have to offer, or mentors who see your untapped potential as a treasure worth more than gold. This is not just about the money. It is about the validation of your worth. It is about me proving to you that you have never been invisible. Every tear you shed over a mounting debt was caught in my bottle. Every time you chose integrity over a dishonest gain, I made a note in the ledger of heaven. Now, the interest has compounded. The windfall is not a random stroke of luck. It is the physical manifestation of my faithfulness. When the strange source reveals itself, when the lawyer calls about a distant relative, or the neighbor offers to buy that piece of junk in your yard for a price that defies logic, know that it is my signature on the check. I am deepening your roots so that when the sudden surge of wealth hits, you will not be swept away by it, but rather, you will use it to water the gardens of others. I am preparing you for the weight of the blessing. It is a holy responsibility. Rest now, child, and listen to the rhythm of your own heart. It is the sound of a countdown. The drought is breaking, and the sound of the abundance of rain is already echoing in the spiritual realm. Your name is being spoken in rooms of influence where you have no standing, and your cause is being championed by those you have never served. This is my grace in motion, a strange and beautiful current that is pulling you toward the shore of plenty. You have sat in the silence of your living room, counting the minutes until the next deadline, feeling the walls of circumstance closing in. I have watched every calculation you made on those crumpled napkins, and every sigh you exhaled into the dark. But the architecture of your life is not built on the shifting sands of the economy. It is anchored in the bedrock of my promise. I am moving the hearts of people you have never met, people in high towers of finance and small, dusty offices of forgotten records. There is a ledger being opened right now. In it, your name is written in ink that cannot be faded. A mistake made decades ago in a banking system is being rectified, and the interest accrued will be your sudden harvest. It will come through a plain envelope, perhaps one you almost throw away thinking it is just more weight for the bin. But inside will be the evidence of my meticulous care. I am the God who remembers the forgotten. I am the one who prompts a distant acquaintance to wake up in the middle of the night with your face in their mind, and a compulsion to settle a debt they never officially owed you. You will receive a call from someone who says, "I don't know why, but I felt led to give this to you." This is the strange source, the conduit that bypasses your logic so that your faith can remain fixed solely on me. Do not be afraid of the magnitude. I have been tempering your spirit in the furnace of delay so that the gold of this blessing does not melt your character. You have learned how to be content with little. Now I will teach you the art of being a river of much. Think of the project you tucked away in a drawer, the one you deemed too expensive or too ambitious. I am breathing life into those dry bones. A benefactor, someone who values the very things you thought were your weaknesses, is being drawn to your sphere. They will not ask for your credentials. They will ask for your vision. This is the grace that levels the mountains and fills the valleys. You have walked through the desert for so long that you have forgotten the sound of running water. But I tell you, the irrigation of my favor is flooding your fields even as you read these words. Your children's children will speak of this turning point, this moment when the lineage of lack was broken forever. It is not merely about the currency in your hand. It is about the freedom in your soul. I am removing the survival filter from your eyes and replacing it with the possibility lens. You will look at your community and see where the gaps are, and you will have the means to bridge them. This is why the blessing is coming from a strange source. It is a sign that I am not limited by your current network or your current employment. I can use a bird of the air to bring you bread, or a fish of the sea to bring you a coin. My resources are infinite, and my love for you is the map that directs them to your door. You have been a good steward of your tears. Now be a joyful steward of your triumph. There is an inheritance from a branch of the family you thought was withered, a legacy that has been waiting for someone with a heart like yours to claim it. The legal hurdles that seemed like mountains are crumbling into dust. The delays were not denials. They were the time required to gather the full weight of the glory I am about to reveal. Even your physical health will respond to this peace. The tension in your jaw, the ache in your back, they are the symptoms of a heavy yoke that I am breaking off you right now. As the financial tide rises, let your worries sink to the bottom. I am doing a new thing, a strange thing, a magnificent thing. You will find money in places you didn't put it. You will find discounts that shouldn't exist and refunds for services you forgot you paid for. It will be a sequence of coincidences so frequent and so specific that you will be forced to laugh at the sheer beauty of my providence. This laughter is the medicine your soul has craved. I am restoring your joy through the tangible proof of my presence. This is the breaking of the drought. This is the sound of the abundance of rain. This is my love, written in the language of provision, delivered by the hands of strangers, and confirmed in the quiet of your heart. The countdown has reached 0. The first drop has fallen. You have felt like a ghost in the machinery of the world, unseen by the systems that dictate wealth and worth. But I see the quiet dignity with which you carried your empty pockets. I see the way you shared your last bit of bread even when you didn't know where the next loaf would come from. That seed was not lost. It was planted in the fertile soil of my kingdom. Now, the harvest is so heavy it requires help to bring it in. The strange source, perhaps a government agency discovering an overpayment, or a local business offering you a partnership that seems too good to be true, is merely the delivery truck for my treasury. I am bypassing the traditional routes because I want you to know that your life is not a product of the world's economy. You are a citizen of a different realm. In that realm, favor is the currency, and you are wealthy beyond measure. Soon you will stand in a bank or sit at a desk, looking at a document that changes everything. The clerk will look confused, the lawyer will look surprised, but you will look at the paper and see my smile. This is the sudden that I have been preparing you for. It will happen suddenly, but it was not decided suddenly. It was decided before the foundations of the world that I would bless you in this way. I am sharpening your discernment so you will know exactly how to use this. You will not hoard it out of fear, for you will know that the source is inexhaustible. You will become a patron of dreams, a silent supporter of those who are currently where you used to be. Every dollar that comes from this strange source will carry a vibration of peace. It will not bring the stress that often accompanies riches, for it is a gift, not a burden. I am clearing the path of every legal entanglement and every bureaucratic snag. What took others years to settle will be settled for you in a matter of days. I am the God of the accelerated timeline. I am folding the years of struggle and bringing the future of your abundance into the present. Do not look back at the years of lack with bitterness. They were the gym where your spirit grew strong. Now, you have the muscle to carry the weight of this blessing without it crushing you. You are ready. The world is waiting for the person you are about to become, the one who walks in the quiet confidence of one who is divinely provided for. Your name is being whispered in the boardrooms of generosity. People you have never served are advocating for your cause because I have put a hook in their hearts that they cannot ignore. They will find themselves wanting to help you, wanting to invest in you, wanting to give to you, and they won't even be able to explain why. This is my grace in motion. It is the wind that blows where it wishes. You hear the sound of it, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. So it is with everyone born of the Spirit, and so it is with this blessing. It is coming from the wherever to find you exactly here. You have been found. You have been chosen. You are being rewarded. Rest in the rhythm of this promise. Let it be the lullaby that puts your anxieties to sleep. The sun is rising on a day where the numbers finally work in your favor, where the strange source becomes the familiar friend, and where my faithfulness becomes your daily bread. The drought is over. The rain is here. Look now at the shadows that once loomed over your ledgers, for I am turning them into stepping stones. You have walked through the valley of not enough for so long that the language of lack has become a dialect you speak fluently. But I am changing your tongue. I am reauthoring the story of your sustenance. There is a person in a city you visited years ago, someone whose name you have nearly forgotten, but who remembers a single moment of kindness you offered. They are sitting at a mahogany desk right now, looking at a surplus they cannot justify keeping, and my spirit is nudging them toward your memory. They do not know your current address, but I do. They do not have your phone number, but the connections of the Spirit are more reliable than any fiber optic cable. This person is an unlikely conduit, perhaps a former competitor, a distant acquaintance, or even someone who once misunderstood you. Yet they are my appointed treasurer for this specific moment. I used the ravens to feed Elijah in the wilderness, and I am using the unlikely to sustain you in your season of transition. Do not look for the blessing in the usual places or through the predictable channels. If it came through your paycheck alone, you would credit your employer. If it came through your own cleverness, you would credit your intellect. But when it arrives from the hand of one who owes you nothing, when it manifests from a source that seemed dry, dormant, or even hostile, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is my hand at work. I am opening the storehouses of the North and the South. I am speaking to the executors of estates, to the managers of forgotten funds, and to the hearts of those who have more than they need. You will receive a communication that feels like a mistake, a phone call that starts with an apology and ends with a provision, or a legal document that bears a value you never expected. I am the God of the hidden treasure and the secret riches of dark places. I am bringing them into the light for your sake. I see the way you have tucked away your dreams in the attic of your soul, thinking they were too expensive to keep. I see the quiet sacrifices you made when you gave your last bit of energy to someone else while your own cupboards were bare. I have kept a meticulous ledger of every tear you shed over a bill you couldn't pay, and every time you whispered, "Thank you," even when the math didn't add up. Those prayers were seeds, and they have been germinating in the dark, cool earth of my perfect timing. Now the soil is breaking. The first green shoots of your harvest are visible, and they are stronger than any drought you have endured. This is not merely about currency. It is about your total restoration. I am paying off the debts that have been invisible chains around your ankles. I am clearing the path so you can walk into your calling without the weight of, "How will I afford this?" dragging behind you. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. The grip you've held on your life, the white-knuckled survivalism, is no longer required. You have been a good steward of the little. Now I am making you a steward of much. And as the abundance flows in, watch how it changes your very perspective. You will no longer look at price tags with fear, but with the discernment of one who knows they are backed by the limitless resources of heaven. You are being transitioned from the economy of the world, which is based on scarcity and competition, into the economy of my kingdom, which is based on overflow and grace. This shift is not a temporary reprieve. It is a permanent change in your spiritual climate. Even as you read these words, the wheels are turning in places you have never been. Documents are being signed by hands you have never shaken. Electronic transfers are being initiated in time zones where the sun is just rising. The strange source is feeling an irresistible urge to act, a divine restlessness that only being generous to you will satisfy. They might call it a hunch or a lucky break, but you will recognize it as a miracle. You have prayed for a way out, but I am giving you a way through and a way up. This is the season where the desert of your finances blooms with sudden lilies, and the dry creek bed of your bank account becomes a rushing river. I am not just giving you enough to survive. I am giving you enough to be the strange source for someone else in the future. You are becoming a link in a chain of divine generosity that spans the globe. Do not be intimidated by the magnitude of what is coming. It will not change who you are. It will only reveal the person I have already built in the secret place of trial. You are ready for this. The years of waiting have tempered your character, ensuring that the blessing will not crush you but carry you. You will use it for good, for the healing of your family, for the building of long-dormant dreams, and for the quiet acts of mercy that only I will ever see. The wherever is closer than you think. The strange source is already reaching for the pen. The atmosphere around your life is shifting from heavy to light. Take a deep breath. The provision is not a reward for your perfection, but a manifestation of my unconditional love. I delight in the prosperity of my children, and today I am smiling upon you with a bounty that defies earthly logic. Stay in this posture of quiet expectancy. Let your heart remain open and your hands remain loose. The gold of the mountains and the silver of the mines are mine, and I am distributing them according to a plan you could never have mapped out yourself. You are the recipient of a heavenly inheritance being delivered through the most unexpected earthly means. Rest now, for the morning brings news that will change the trajectory of your lineage. As the first light of dawn begins to filter through your window, casting a soft glow across the familiar corners of your room, I want you to look at your surroundings with new eyes. That desk where you have sat in tears over unpaid ledgers is about to become a station of celebration. The chair that has held the weight of your weary body as you wondered if help would ever arrive is now a throne of grace. I am moving through the corridors of time to retrieve what was lost and to multiply what was hidden. There is a legal document currently sitting in a nondescript envelope, traveling toward your doorstep. It does not bear a name you recognize immediately, yet it carries a signature that will alter your identity from the one who lacks to the one who distributes. This source is truly strange to your understanding. It is a remnant of a seed planted by an ancestor you never met, or perhaps a long-forgotten investment in a company that has suddenly found its footing in the global market. I have kept this hidden, tucked away in the folds of history, specifically for this hour. You have often looked at your bank account and seen only the numbers that were missing, but I have been looking at the reservoir of my grace that is about to burst its banks. Do not fear the magnitude of what is coming. Some would call it luck, others would call it a clerical error in your favor, but you will know it is the intentionality of my hand. I am addressing the specific anxieties that have kept you awake, the creak in the floorboards of your home that reminds you of repairs you cannot afford, the worry over the tuition that seems out of reach, and the quiet shame of having to say no to the needs of those you love. I am erasing that shame. I am replacing the no with a yes that echoes through your lineage. Even now, a professional in a distant city is looking at your file, puzzled by the timing, but compelled by a sense of urgency they cannot explain. They are being moved by my spirit to finalize a transfer that has been delayed for far too long. This is not a drop of rain in a drought. It is a total shift in the climate of your life. The heavy, humid air of not enough is being swept away by a cool, refreshing breeze of more than enough. You will find yourself standing in the middle of your kitchen, holding a piece of paper or looking at a screen, and the air will leave your lungs in a gasp of holy realization. You are not forgotten. You are not a footnote in the story of the world. You are a central focus of my affection. As this financial overflow enters your experience, I am also healing the trauma that poverty left behind. I am mending the neural pathways that have been wired for survival mode. I am teaching you how to walk in the confidence of a child who knows their parent owns the store. Look at your hands. They have been clenched tight in a grip of protection, trying to hold onto the little you had. Relax them now. Open your palms. I am placing within them the resources to fund the vision I whispered to you years ago, the one you tucked away in a drawer because it felt too expensive to dream. That dream is breathing again. It is stretching its limbs. The strange source is simply the mechanism I am using to prove that my ways are higher than your ways. It may come through a refund of a debt you thought was permanent, a grant you didn't apply for, or the sudden appreciation of something you considered worthless. I am the God of the sudden turnaround. I am the architect of the unexpected. As you move through this day, carry yourself with the quiet dignity of someone who knows a secret. You don't need to shout it yet. Just let the peace of it settle into your bones. The news is traveling. The ink is dry. The release has been authorized in the heavens, and the earthly manifestation is navigating the final turn toward your life. Notice how your heart feels lighter already, as if the gravity of the world has lost its hold on you. This is the frequency of favor. It is a steady, rhythmic pulse of my heart beating for yours. You have been faithful in the small, hidden things, and now I am entrusting you with the significant, visible things. This blessing is not a destination. It is a vehicle. It will carry you into rooms you thought were closed to you. It will allow you to be the answer to someone else's desperate prayer. Think of the person who is where you were yesterday, hungry for a sign, desperate for a breakthrough. I am positioning you to be that sign for them. But first, let me saturate you in this provision. Let me show you that I am a lavish giver. I do not deal in crumbs, I deal in banquets. The morning is here, and with it comes a testimony that will be told for generations. Your children's children will speak of this day as the moment the tide turned, the moment the drought ended, and the moment the strange, beautiful bounty of heaven arrived at the door of a faithful soul. Rest in this knowing. The delivery is certain. You remember the night you sat at your kitchen table, the yellow light of the overhead lamp casting long shadows over the stack of notices. I was there in the silence, watching the way your thumb traced the edge of the final notice, the way your breath caught in your throat when the math simply wouldn't add up. You thought you were alone in that deficit, but I was measuring the depth of your trust against the vastness of my storehouses. Look now toward the horizon, for the courier of my grace travels by paths you cannot map. There is a specific document, a piece of paper that has been moving through bureaucratic channels for years, redirected and delayed until this exact moment of intersection. It carries a name you haven't spoken in a decade, a connection you thought had withered into dust. This is the strange source, an inheritance not of blood, but of divine appointment. I have moved upon the heart of a stranger in a distant city, someone who woke up with your face printed on the back of their eyelids, unable to find peace until they corrected a ledger that had been skewed against you. They do not know why they are doing it, only that the impulse is as strong as the tide. You will see it first as a notification, a flickering digit on a screen, or perhaps a heavy envelope with a return address that makes your heart skip a beat. Do not fear the weight of it. For too long, you have lived with the expectation of the other shoe dropping, the sudden crisis, the unexpected leak in the roof. I am rewiring your heart to expect the sudden infusion, the unexpected repair, the surplus that overflows the cup. I am even now speaking to the bankers, the lawyers, and the executors of estates. I am opening the vaults that were locked by human greed and releasing what was rightfully yours into the stream of your life. Think of the old debt that has haunted your dreams, the one that felt like a chain around your ankles every time you tried to step forward into your purpose. Watch as it dissolves. It will not be through your striving or your strategic planning, but through a glitch in the system of the world that I have orchestrated for your benefit. You have wondered if I saw the sacrifices you made when no one was looking, the times you gave your last few dollars to someone even hungrier than you, the times you chose integrity over a shortcut to profit. I saw it all. I recorded the frequency of your generosity, and now I am returning it to you with the interest of heaven. This blessing will feel strange because it is not earned in the way the world understands earning. It is a harvest from seeds you forgot you planted. It is the bread you cast upon the waters finally returning as a fleet of ships. I am making you a distribution center. As this wealth flows in, not just in currency, but in favor, in opportunity, in the sudden cancellation of burdens, feel the constriction in your chest begin to loosen. You are no longer the one who lacks. You are the one who provides. I am giving you the ability to walk into a store and buy what is needed without checking the balance first, a simple act that will feel like a miracle after years of scarcity. I am giving you the resources to fund the dream I tucked into your soul when you were a child, the one you tucked away because it seemed irresponsible in the face of survival. Survival mode is ending. Thriving mode is beginning. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? The air around you is thick with the scent of rain after a long drought. Even your enemies will wonder at the source of your sudden abundance. They will look for a logical explanation and find none, for this is a work of my hand that defies logic. It is a holy anomaly. I am even using the wicked to store up wealth for you, as my word has promised. Transactions that were meant to fail will suddenly succeed. Refunds you never applied for will arrive in the mail. A forgotten account from a previous life will be discovered, its value compounded beyond your wildest imagination. This is not just about the money, it is about the message. The message is, I have not forgotten you. I have heard every whispered how long, Lord, and my answer is now. Stay in a posture of gratitude, for gratitude is the frequency that maintains the flow. Do not let the old patterns of poverty thinking reclaim your mind. When the abundance arrives, do not hoard it out of fear that it will disappear. It will not disappear because the source is not a bank or a job or a person. The source is me, and I am infinite. You are entering a season of suddenlies. Suddenly, the phone will ring. Suddenly, the check will clear. Suddenly, the offer will be made. And in that moment of suddenness, you will know that I am the God who sees, the God who provides, and the God who delights in the prosperity of his servants. I am peeling back the layers of your anxiety and replacing them with a profound sense of security. You are safe. You are provided for. You are being launched into a new tier of influence. This is the beginning of a legacy of generosity that will outlive you. Keep your hands open, for I am still pouring. Think of the person you were just 3 months ago, pacing the floor, wondering how the next month's obligations would be met. I was in that room with you, and I am in this room now. The difference is that the door is now unlocked. You do not have to kick it down. You only have to walk through. I have even touched the heart of an old adversary, someone who once sought to hinder your progress. In a dream, I showed them the beauty of your spirit, and they will now become a conduit for your advancement. Do not be surprised when the very person who tried to block you is the one who hands you the key. This is my way of showing you that I am sovereign over every heart and every coin. This blessing is coming from the north, the south, the east, and the west. It is a convergence of favor. Even your physical health will respond to this peace, for the stress that has lived in your bones is being washed away by the assurance of my care. You will sleep deeply tonight, knowing that the morning brings a tangible proof of my love. I am your provider, your sustainer, and your excessive reward. Receive this now, for it is yours. Even the ground you walk upon is being blessed for your sake. I am releasing a creative idea into your mind that will generate wealth while you sleep. It is not just about a one-time gift, but a perpetual spring. This idea will seem small at first, like a mustard seed, but it will grow into a canopy that shelters many. I am removing the thorns of frustration from your work and replacing them with the ease of my anointing. You will find that tasks which once took hours now take minutes. Doors that were barred will swing open at your approach. You are my beloved, and it is my pleasure to give you the kingdom. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap, yet I feed them. How much more will I do for you, whose name is carved into the palms of my hands? The strange source is just the beginning. It is the first drop of a downpour that will saturate every area of your life. Be still, and know that I am working on your behalf even as you read these words. The movement has already begun in the unseen realms, and the manifestation is imminent. Do not lean on your own understanding, for my ways are higher than your ways. Trust the process, trust the timing, and above all, trust my heart for you. You are about to experience the weightlessness of being debt-free, the joy of being a silent benefactor, and the peace of knowing that your future is secure in my hands. Every tear you shed over your finances has been collected and turned into a pearl of wisdom and wealth. This is your recompense. This is your restoration. This is your time.